Hello everyone and welcome to an awesome video. Today's video is going to be really cool, I think, because it's been requested so much. I get a lot of people asking me about Macs that I've shown on the channel before, and you know, I don't often update you guys on when I sell them and stuff. So loads of people are confused as to what Macs I currently own and what I use my Macs for and stuff like that. So in today's video, I'm just going to take you on a tour around my room and around the studio, showing all the Macs that I have. Talk about the specs, talk about my future plans, explain what I use them for, and all this really cool stuff. It's not going to be a room tour or anything even close to that, even though I just used the word tour, but I kind of meant tour around the machines. So this is really cool. I've been having these requests now for like a year or something because, you know, people are confused. They don't know where things like the iMac G4 have gone, you know, do you still have your PowerBook, whatever. So I'm going to go through all of that stuff now, and we're going to talk about all of my Macs. Now, a slight disclaimer at the start here, I'm not a collector at all. I do not collect Macs. I thought I wanted to a few years ago. I thought I wanted to be a Mac collector when I first started the channel, and you know, I just hoarded that kind of stuff, but not anymore. I buy stuff for practicality and I make fun videos about it, and if it's time for it to move on, it's time for it to move on. So without further ado, we're going to start with my main machine, my 2008 Mac Pro. So starting in my bedroom here, we have my Mac Pro 2008. This is on my main setup because it is indeed my main machine. It pretty much handles everything for me. This is an early 2008 model, 3.1, lovely little upgrade over the original Mac Pro, because of course this guy is still fully supported, whereas the originals aren't, which is a massive shame because there's not that much of a power difference. Having said that, there is a noticeable little speed increase with these, because at the baseline you get an 8-core system, which is what this guy is, 2 quad-core Xeon processors, 2.8 gigahertz, and of course it's got 800 megahertz DDR2 RAM. I've got 8 gigabytes, I think, yeah, it's 8 gigabytes in here at the moment. I would like to upgrade to 12 or 16 gigabytes. I'll probably do that around early 2015. It's cool because I got a couple of free slots, so it should be easy. It's just very, very expensive RAM, which is so annoying. I bought this all the way back in either late 2010 or early 2011. I sold my white MacBook and my Power Mac G5 Dual 2.5, which back then you could still get about 400 quid for. I got 400 quid for the MacBook, 400 quid for the G5, that gave me 800. Sold my PS3, I think, for 200 quid, so that gave me £1,000. And then I saved up a further, I was background saving for about a year, so that must have been about 400 quid. And yeah, I paid nearly £1,500 for this. I paid for it outright and I'm so pleased. It's an absolutely phenomenal system. It's never let me down. And those issues that I was having with Yosemite starting up and shutting down, they are a thing of the past. It seemed to fix itself, and that was really, really cool. I'm so glad. So yeah, this system still has a Samsung 830 SSD for its startup. It's really nice. It's handy having the 256 gigabytes of space, because it's surprising, you know, with things like your downloads folder and documents and stuff, how much that takes up. I was going to buy a dedicated 128 gig SSD for this system before I put the 256 in, and I'm so glad that I've got that 256 gig SSD. That's still going really well. I think in there at the moment I have a 1 terabyte black drive, which I've had for years and years now. One of the first black drives with the SATA Revision 3. Of course, I've never had a system that I've actually utilised SATA Revision 3 on, because this is SATA Rev 2, I think, and the G5 is SATA Rev 1. So I carried that disk over from the G5, and I believe this also has a 2 terabyte green in it for storage, and maybe another drive, I can't remember. I'm swapping out hard drives a lot more than I used to now, and I don't make videos about it just because I'm swapping them around and that, because I've got a lot of data storage problems. But yeah, that's this system. It's got AirPort. No, it hasn't got AirPort, that was a lie. It's got Bluetooth. It's got the super drive that it came with. And other than that, it's pretty much, yeah, it's just great. It's a Mac Pro. Ooh, and of course it's got the NVIDIA GeForce GT 640 with 1 gig of VRAM in it. Not a bad card at all. Much better than the X1900 XT that I had in here for years. So glad to get rid of that. But I want to upgrade to triple monitors. That'll be happening in the next couple of weeks, so I will be definitely getting another GPU. So yeah, that's my Mac Pro, my main machine. I love it to pieces. Sitting on top of it, we actually have a 3 terabyte USB 3.0 Western Digital MyBook. That is just a time machine for this system that backs up the SSD, the 1 terabyte black, which hosts my Scratch disk and my iTunes library at the moment, believe it or not. I'm moving Scratch onto the 2 terabyte storage when the 1 terabyte gets full, because obviously the black is quicker to edit off. But yeah, that 3 terabyte backs up yeah, the black and the SSD, and I think a 640 gig drive that used to be in there but isn't anymore. So that's my Mac Pro, still going strong, and I love it to pieces. Sorry about the dodgy angle, guys. These Mac Minis are indeed underneath my desk, as you've probably seen in a previous video. These were both donated to me, which I am so grateful for. The bottom one is a Mac Mini G4, 1.25 gigahertz with 1 gigabyte of RAM, and I believe an 80 gigabyte hard drive, not too sure on the hard drive space on that one. And the top one is a Mac Mini Core 2 Duo, 1.83 gigahertz from 2007, I believe, with 2 gigabytes of RAM. I upgraded the RAM to 2 gig, and a 500 gigabyte hard drive. I also upgraded the hard drive. I've got videos on both of those things. I actually think I did it in the same video, so that's pretty cool. The Intel one is powered up, and it has been powered up permanently for the past maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I'm using it as a little bit of a server. It's very handy. I haven't got it configured properly at all yet, because I'm waiting for some other hardware to come through, some other cables, and I'm just actually reading up a lot about certain things, because I don't know a lot about servers and whatnot, and it's cool. I'm actually learning. At the moment I'm just using file sharing, the built-in file sharing on Macs, and also screen sharing, and it uploads all of my videos. I also do some background downloads on there, and it will start doing Time Machine for other Macs around the house with these external hard drives. Hang on a second. These external drives that are next to it, and it's going to do a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, it's just so handy to have a low-powered system that I can upload videos overnight, because I upload videos every night now, and obviously the Mac Pro would really suck the juice and heat up the room and that, so that Mini is great. The Mac Mini G4 underneath it is not currently used. I've got specific tasks for that in mind, but again, I'm waiting for my desk setup to be complete so that everything is configured properly before I delve into that. I do have some tasks in mind for that, like I said, but of course, that is all waiting. And yeah, these are the 3 Macs that I have on my setup, and together they're working brilliantly, and I haven't even got the G4 powered up yet. So those external hard drives, that's just a 2 terabyte Western Digital MyBook. That's a FireWire drive. Actually, they're both FireWire drives. The other one's a 750, so that'll be the external storage that I'll have for the server for now once I get it all set up, but I will be looking at getting some other external drives. And the next external drive purchase I get will probably be a 4 terabyte MyBook, or 2, 3 terabytes or something like that. And then they are the last external drives I will be buying. I will then be moving on to using that fractional design case and building a proper mini ITX file server using FreeNAS, and utilising a minimum of 4 terabyte Caviar Red drives. So, very exciting. And yeah, these Mac Minis will be rocking here for about a year probably. I won't have the funds to build that server for a very long time, but it's definitely exciting. I love the Mac Minis, I love the Mac Pro, and together it's great to have all of it on my setup. So I was only going to focus on the Macs in this video, but I thought I'd show you what the Mac Pro is connected to. You guys see it all the time. This is my dual display setup with 2 Dell 2009W monitors. They're great monitors, 1680 by 1050, little bit old by today's standards, but I will be getting a 3rd monitor to go in the center, and it's not another Dell monitor. That's a little clue. So that'll be really exciting. The desk setup project will be evolving and happening in the next couple of weeks. It was delayed obviously because of my MacBook Pro purchase, but everything is going to go rock solid, and I can't wait to do that. But like I said, not dwelling too much on the setups. This video is primarily about the Macs. So sitting on the desk here is my newest addition to my Mac. I was going to say collection then, but I stated in the start that I'm not a collector. But yeah, the Macs that I need a portable Mac, of course, and this is the MacBook Pro 15-inch Retina. It's a 2 gigahertz quad-core Intel Core i7, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigs of PCIe attached storage, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's a late 2013 model. It's going to be with me for years. It's rock solid. I love it. I whipped it out of my bag just to show you guys really quickly, but it normally lives in my bag. I use it portably. But sometimes actually, when my Mac Pro is busy exporting a video or whatever, and I need to use another heavy application on top, for the last couple of days, I have actually been using my MacBook Pro in front of my keyboard like this, and it's been really cool because I've been using my MacBook Pro while using my Mac Pro if the Mac Pro is tied up with doing something else. So that is the newest addition. I use a portable Mac for all sorts of things. It's so handy to have one. I wouldn't actually be able to live without one. I wouldn't be able to do some of the jobs that I do, or loads of the jobs that I do. And definitely getting 5 videos out a week without a portable machine would be very hard, and I know that because I did 2 or 3 weeks of it after my MacBook Pro died, my other MacBook Pro, which I will show you in the next clip, because this video is about all the Macs I own, and technically I still own it. So here it is, the MacBook Pro 2008, 2.4 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, 250 gigabyte hard drive, Intel Core 2 Duo, 15-inch, lovely machine. I enjoyed using it for a year. It was great. Wasn't rock solid stable, but it was stable enough. And yeah, I customized it, stuck my stickers all over it. Really enjoyed myself, but unfortunately it's time for this machine to go. I'm just waiting on another battery to arrive. I will make another video about this machine before it goes, but I'll be replacing the battery, reinstalling the OS, and then listing it on eBay with all of the faults that I know about, you know, possible graphics failure on the way, slightly dodgy LCD, kills batteries in 5 minutes. But yeah, I should be able to still get a little bit of money from this to be able to pay off some of the debt that I've got from my Retina. So it's a shame that this went downhill, but the Retina is so nice. Maybe I'm thinking it will happen for a reason. Coming down to this little section under my desk, you can see one of my most prized possessions, actually. I love this little machine. This is a PowerMac G3 blue and white. I believe it's the 400 megahertz edition. It's got the maxed out 1 gigabyte of RAM. And do you know what, guys? It's such a nice machine. I love it. I've got tons and tons of videos on this G3, so please go and check them out. It's got the Radeon 9200 in it, I think. I think that's the name of the card. Pretty much the quickest card you can put in here. It hasn't got an SSD in it at the moment, but it does have a SATA card, and I have used an SSD with it. The SSD from this is in my G4 MDD at the moment, but there will be a video in the next few days maybe. I'll be putting another SSD in here because I've recently acquired another SSD, which is really cool, from a recent donation. So I kind of dubbed this the world's fastest G3. It's not at the moment, but I will be looking to get a massive upgrade for it sometime in 2015 that'll make such an exciting video. And I just love this G3. It's great. I love making videos about it. It's got a special place in my heart, and it always finds its way back onto my setup. It's not currently plugged in, but you know, it jumps on and off my setup all the time. So it's a lovely system, really like it. I used it as a server for a little bit actually before PowerPC went really downhill. I think I must have been running Snow Leopard on my Mac Pro when I used this as a server, maybe Lion. But yeah, I used to do a couple of downloads and stuff on here, but now with magnet links and stuff, it's become a lot more difficult to use this kind of thing as a server. And of course, it's a lot louder than a Mac Mini, and it does consume more power than a Mac Mini, and it takes up more space. So it's not a server anymore, nowhere near, but it is a nice system. I did have a really nice super drive in here, but I don't anymore. I took it out for some reason. I can't remember why. It could be in the G5, but yeah, that's my G3, and I really like it. So surrounded by blank VHS and blank cassettes, and all sorts of other crap, we have my G4 MDD. As you guys know, G4 MDDs are pretty much my favourite Macs probably, or definitely up there in the top 3. It is the top of the line FireWire 800 dual 1.42 gigahertz model, and it does have the top of the line best video card you can get in this system, ATI Radeon X800 XT, and it does have an SSD, and it's got, I think, a 2 terabyte Western Digital black drive in it. It's got a load of modifications. It's a beast system. I've got all the upgrades documented in probably about an hour and a half's worth of video. Search for PowerPC Promise PowerMac G4 upgrade, 3 parts. Now this was for my famous PowerPC challenge project, and a lot of people shouted at me for that, but I had massive problems. I decided to use a G4 for 2 weeks, or I think it was a week or a month or something, and edit all my videos on G4 and stuff. A couple of videos on my channel were edited on here, but my god, was it painful. My camera records in AVC HD, which of course is not compatible with PowerPC, so you've got to do a load of converting and stuff, which takes hours upon hours before you've even started. So it was a pain in the ass. But a lot of people have said to me now they don't care what system the videos are edited on, as long as they get to see the PowerPC Promise videos. But the problem is now they were recorded so long ago that I've actually grown up a little bit as a person since recording them. So my plan is, when I get slightly less busy with all this stuff I've got coming up towards Christmas with shows and theatre work and stuff, I would like to retake the PowerPC Promise and talk about it from a 2015 perspective. So I'm keeping this machine close by. I power it up every now and again just to check that everything's okay. But yeah, it's a brilliant G4 and it's pretty much maxed out to the max. Not counting a CPU upgrade, of course. I always wanted to use the original CPU because I wanted it to be a fair comparison, really. So yeah, using an original dual G4, and you know, this is the first time I've spoken about the PowerPC Promise in any of my videos for a very long time, so I guess some of you will be pretty happy with that. But yeah, that's my G4, and of course, a lot of people think that project has been axed because I originally released it in 2012, but yeah, it hasn't. It's just super, super hard. But anyway, that's my G4, and I think I've got to have a little look around, but yeah, I think that concludes all of the Macs in my bedroom. So that does indeed conclude all the bedroom Macs, and that includes, you know, my main machine, the little server setup, my new portable, my old portable, my trusty G3 that I just love having, and of course the G4 maxed out, ready for the PowerPC stuff, which I've already recorded, but yeah, we just went over all that. So that's it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Macs in this room. All with different capabilities, all with different specifications, and all with different jobs. So that's pretty cool, and I didn't actually realise there was that many Macs in this room. But anyway, that has not concluded this video. I have another floor to my house, with another room that I do indeed use, but it's slightly different up there. So we're ditching the tripod, guys. I'm just going to use this handheld to come up here and show you guys. But we are heading up into my attic conversion that a lot of you have seen. My sister's bedroom is in there, well, my sister's old bedroom. She lives in New Zealand at the moment. And coming past the computer graveyard, we go into my studio. Now, I'm so sorry about the mess. It looks terrible, but it is all organised, I promise. So let's get a bit of light on the situation, and let's talk about the Macs that we have hiding in here. I believe there's only 2 in here, but I'll have to double check that. So first things first, there we have my iMac G3. I love this system. I was going to make a couple of videos about it because I was toying around with a couple of different things. It's running OS 9 at the moment, but I axed those videos. They were terrible. I'm planning on redoing them and stuff when I next have this downstairs, making videos about it. But at the moment, it's sitting on its CRT, which is a really bad idea, guys, and it's got stuff leaning up against it. I feel really sorry for it, but yeah, they are very, very stable and rugged systems, so it can put up with it, and it's just sitting in here for storage at the moment. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to sell it after I make the videos, but yeah, it's a nice machine. I do have a little soft spot for the iMac G3s. I'm not obsessed with them or anything, but it is really nice to have one. So that's pretty much the iMac G3 story. And then, of course, moving on to my main studio Mac, or my only studio Mac rather, this is a PowerMac G5. Quite a low-spec G5, actually. It is the low-end alternative model that came out in 2004, I think, which is a single 1.8 gigahertz. It only accepts 4 gigs of RAM, so it's got 4 gigs of RAM in it at the moment. It's a properly stripped-down G5 with a smaller motherboard, but it's got a 500GB Western Digital Caviar Blue in it. It's got a burner. It's got a Radeon 9600 in it, I think, fanless card, which is plenty to drive these dual 24-inch displays. I think that might be 22. I've got lots of videos on upgrading this guy as well, and of course videos about my dual display setup. This is my studio setup. Absolutely love this machine. I use it for Logic only, but yeah, I'm not really... this G5 is pretty slow by today's standards, guys. It does what I want absolutely fine, but I really don't recommend this G5 if you're doing anything online. This guy pretty much stays offline. It's got Airport in it, but it does pretty much stay offline. I don't use any online stuff. But of course, you know, it's all to do with audio, so it all integrates with all of my audio components and stuff, and, well, my interface, which then, you know, allows me to record through my mixer, and I've got my monitors, and... yeah, it's all really nice. I love that as a setup. And I think that's Mac number 9, and it does indeed conclude my Mac setup. By the way, that's running Leopard, so is the G4 downstairs, and the G3 is running a few different operating systems. That's running OS 9, like I said. The Mac Mini G4 is running OS 10 server, OS 10 Leopard server, and the Intel Mac Mini is running Lion. And my MacBook Pro my newest one and my Mac Pro running Yosemite, and my MacBook Pro, the older one, is running Mavericks at the moment, but soon to run Yosemite before I sell it. So studio's looking like a bit of a tip, guys, but yeah, that's not the main priority of this video. So guys, one of my most requested videos, and I have indeed made it. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing all of the Macs that I own. It's definitely interesting going through them, and I didn't realize I had 9. I would have guessed that I had about 5 or 6, but it's amazing when you start counting how many you've actually got. So any Mac that you've seen on my channel that I haven't shown you in this video, it's been sold. And that's because I didn't have a use for it, or I didn't have the space for it, or anything like that. If I've said I was going to upgrade it and you never saw me upgrade it, then I changed my mind, probably because of financial reasons, and then sold it on. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've stumbled over my words quite a bit, but it is quite confusing talking about 9 different computers all in one video, you know, trying to remember the specs and stuff. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and of course, as always, I will see you in the next video.